Okay, so get some important information about boost headers, especially when it comes to local packages, patches, local patches. Um, so today I went through and I was going to see if I can get Dagger's patches for the boost libraries, boost headers, and boost jam to be up, to update for whatever was causing the patches to apply. And I was able to do that. And I got through the first one and I worked, it applied. Then I went to go to the second one. It was saying, looks like these patches have already been applied. What would you want to do? And it ended up in that case, anyway, the way I discovered it really isn't all that important. But you only need one set of patches. The point is, actually, is that you only need one set of patches between all three packages. So I've updated the patches. As far as I remember, I guess I have to look at my scribblings here. I'm going to put the boost... I'm going to put the patches in the boost jam directory because the other two won't build unless boost jam is built. That is the boost libraries and the boost headers. And so once the patches are in the boost, the patches actually go in, this is what the problem is. The patches actually go in the meta packages directory in the boost folder there. Whereas you'll find the three packages for boost libraries, boost jam, and boost headers in the development category, and there's no patches folder there. I went to make patches and was going, where the hell did those things go? And I finally realized it was in the meta packages folder. So you only need one set of patches, and they need to be in the meta package folder for boost. I haven't tried to see whether I could actually put the local patches in a meta patches subcategory and then boost. But right now Dagger has the same patches for all three packages in the local patches directory, and the only two problems were is that the directory structures had changed, so the name of the patch had changed, or the location where the patch wanted to apply had changed, and then on top of that, only one set of patches were really needed. So, it uses, I think it uses the same source base. Well, I'm not exactly sure. And then something else interesting happened. Also on the boost headers, if the Haiku header is not included on the package list, because of course we've just ported over, or right now boost is in such a situation where Haiku is actually being ported over. There is no, boost will generate a Saijuan header but not a Haiku header, unless of course we code it even in Haiku to make a Saijuan header. Anyway, we've Dagger has made the patches, so now it will make a Haiku header and it will build 4 Haikus use. And the only thing is that we just need to add the Haiku header to the package list. And if it doesn't, even if you rebuild after adding it to the package list, it won't end up being part of the package. And then when the package installs, the Haiku header will be missing. And I was sitting here scratching my head wondering why all of the packages that needed the boost headers weren't finding the boost headers even though I had them built. And the reason is because the package source package list didn't have the Haiku header included. So when I made the package, it didn't include the Haiku header. And when it installed, the Haiku header wasn't there. So I'm going to rebuild, do a bmake replace, which is very useful. Bmake replace is very useful. Now, if you want to upgrade from one, you have to have the package installed. Let's see, it's under package tools, and I probably should do something on that. Package tarup you have to have installed, and package file check, I believe. Those two packages that you would build in the package tools directory. Then you can do bmake replace, and so if you have a newer version of a package you want to build to replace an older version without going through an endless dependency chain, you just do bmake replace, and then it will take the old one out and put the new one in. So that's the deal there. So that's what I'm going to end up doing because my package right now doesn't have the Haiku header in it, and doesn't have the Haiku header in it because it was driven. The package list was assembled based upon the package list, and when I started the build, even though all the patches were in place, the Haiku header, and so that carried forward. And I started wondering, and I was thinking that, how the hell do you pass on a force this damn autoconf to use the include directory that you want? I've actually found out how to do that. I've been having issues with it, so I added another config file that daisy chains make.conf, and I've called it autoconf cpp flags, and I put a little note on it basically to say this is how you get autoconf to. I'm probably gonna have another one. Autoconf cpp flags, and the verbiage basically goes like cpp flags plus equals minus I and what your header directory you want to be. The double slash include directory equals doesn't work for autoconf. Autoconf just ignores it. Autoconf wants its own version, and it's called cpp flags. So now that I have that in my tool set, I'm probably going to go back and redo and make some settings for some of the packages that I just couldn't twist its arm to get it to actually use the package source headers rather than the Haiku headers. And this is also related to the Z library issue. If I knew that once Z library was built, that package source would always use the Z library that I've built inside of package source, I wouldn't have to worry about deflate errors. But I don't, and the reason is because autoconf, without being forced, wants to get its information from the system. And when there's so it's not going to look in boot home package include. It'll ask the compiler, hey, where's your header directory? And Haiku's compiler will say, hey, it's over in boot system develop headers. And this is why people that build for Haiku love autoconf, because it actually can find where the headers are without having to struggle with it, override or patch something. But for package source, it has the opposite effect. So I almost would want to have that as a global setting, because the general rule of thumb for Haiku, the general rule of thumb is that, or a lot of people approach package source by just stripping their OS down to the bare minimum and just building everything. If you go look at Linux Slackware and package source, you'll see people with their blogs talking about how that's how they do it. It isn't really necessary to do it that way. You can pick and choose. You just have to know how to do it, and over time you'll learn these things. What I'm trying to do is get these things set up in basically configuration files that are pulled up into the make.conf file that allow these various options to be passed on. And now that I know how to actually deal with autoconf, which I was starting to really hate autoconf actually, at least for my purposes, because what it ended up amounting to was that at times I felt like I had to, okay, if I want to build the package in package source, I got to build the dependency in Haiku, and that's not the idea. The idea is to build as many as you can in package source. If I've already made it in package source, why the hell is it using why does it want to use it from the system? Well, that's what was going on, and I just couldn't turn libtool off. Libtool, autoconf, I think they're synonymous. least I think so. If that isn't true, don't shoot me. So, okay, now I'm getting packages being built. I finally got that resolved, and I finally looked at the configure log. They do have, AutoConf does have good configure logs, I will say that. Also, right now, my circumstance in the converters category, when I started this whole thing, when I did my last run through, I had built 74 of the 117 available. I don't know exactly how many are available. I think there's at least one more called Live Revenge. But nonetheless, pretty shortly now I'm going to have everything and more built than what I had before. In fact, the only real question is which ones have I not built? It's getting that good right now, at least in the convert. And I can probably even go back and further. It's really narrow. So let's see what my total is now for in the converters category. $85 out of 100. So I got 32 that have not built yet, and I'll tell you that another 7 are going to build without any problem, because those are all dependent upon the boost headers that I just built. I just built boost headers, boot library, and boost jam. And I didn't have a lot of issues here in the converters category before. There were the remaining things were pretty narrow. I've got a couple that want Cairo that now I'll be able to at least give it a shot. One wants Pixman. All these ones that want boost headers, I'm just gonna build, and they're probably not gonna give me any problems. I'm also noticing that where I used to have issues with undefined reference to VA list, I'm not having that issue anymore. I'm hoping to get to the point where it's not a matter of having any dependencies prevent me from building anything, but instead it's just a matter of getting things coded up. There's one package that I worked on tonight, working with SIG.io, and I found a header, and I think they're using different POSIX verbiage for the same function, so I changed that, but I wasn't all that confident about it. I've also combined Pkgsrc patches now. In my sol folder, I just got everything together. If I get a little asterisk by it, that means there's something in there I did that's unusual, or it's not the usual category. So let's see, IRC2 I wasn't able to build, but and something I did not mention last night, or if I did, I don't remember that I did, but it's very important. Because I couldn't get AutoConf to behave, I had to install Haiku's live icon V, because it didn't want to find the header for the live icon V I had already installed in Pkgsrc and had available in boot home pack include. So I'm probably going to end up redoing the live ICQ core package again, and doing a setting for it, the same setting I did for this Live Revenge. And then probably getting rid of the category. I haven't uploaded anything yet. I have yet to have uploaded Cairo. I've yet to, and it's late right now, so I'm going to go home. I just keep building stuff. I've yet to upload updated boost headers. And the list of Pkgsrc things, basically, just go over his status quickly. It's laid out a little bit better. If you use his patches, under settings, you're going to have success with all these packages right here. If you're using the third quarter 2014 quarter 3, I got that backwards. Dyslexia Cure for found 2004 quarter 3. You're going to have all these packages that will build correctly for you, plus all those. There's one that Diger fixed completely, but it needs a replacement plist or replacement Pkgsrc make file, or Perl won't put the library in the right place, and the other stuff won't build. Category 3, these work with this patches. It's just you have to use Python 2.7.7 and not 2.7.8. That comes stock with Pkgsrc. Category 4, his patches will work. You just have to update your settings in the make.conf file with the settings that I've provided. So at the end of this, I'll have a conclusion as to what I'm going to actually do next time I update Git. This one is a combination of settings and patches that I was able to fix things, that you'll be able to build all these things: the boost headers, boost jam, boost libraries, glibtube, subversion, mediatome, MIT Cabral 5, x264 development. There's 2 of them where Diger's patches are no longer required. 3 proxy and DB4, otherwise you'll have a false positive failure. And then category 7, they work, but I had to do something unusual. I already talked about Perl 5 socket 6, where I actually had to bring down 2 of the headers into the local area, treat them like they were patches, and locally include them, deleting some of the definitions that were in the headers to cause the thing to build. With Cairo, I had to supply my own shm.h header, and just so you know, in my patch sets, I've got it so you'll end up using the and settings that you'll end up using the local header that I've included with my patches and called it a patch. It's just a file. FFTW, I still don't really have solved, but I have the .a file up there. Spider Monkey, I had to rename the folder that the package built in, remove the one that was in there, and then it built fine. And Tiny Proxy now built after I replaced the Z libraries, as I described in my last video. Basically, the versioning numbers aren't in the Pkgsrc built Z library, but the versioning numbers are in the Haiku built library, and so if you're linking between something that linked with the versioned zlib and then is going to double team link some other package, the package that linked with the original zlib is going to complain and not allow you to link up because the zlib you're linking with now, and that's the problem with having some packages use autoconf and some not without the CPP flags in there. Which is why I'm hoping that I could figure out how to get that CPP flags that I just discovered tonight to always be triggered if autoconf is being used. And I may have to really look for those things. Now, these are the ones I've not been able to test because I haven't built the dependencies. The patches aren't working yet, and I'm working on getting them to work. Some success, some not. It all depends. I'm also going to look at Python and see if it's using autoconf in some fashion. And if it is, then I now know how to not have to use 110 patches just to move some headers down from 2 directories up because the compiler can't find it. But I'll see how that works. So hopefully these GCCs will work as easily. I've learned more, so before I wasn't even able or willing or ready to try updating the boost patches. Now that I've done that, I think I'm ready to try these GCC patches and maybe the Qt4 patches. Some of these I'm just having problems with. They're just not building as I would expect. But I'm going to try them again now that I have that zlib with the versioning in it. I haven't done a package count recently, but even my development category keeps growing. So whereas before I had just a little over 1,100, where there's 1,904 available. I have a feeling that I'm probably going to want to do another pass through here now that I have versioning information in the Z library, at least for the remaining, let's see what we get to here. Well, I got 1,163 built here, so it's 100 more than I did before at least. And there's 1,900, so it's 50, 200, it's about a little less than 750 packages that I don't know the reason why they're building or not. Now the package info count, I don't know how much of those are actually installable, but I guess let's do that quickly, and then I'll call it a night. Well, these things, I'm also doing a B-make replace in the boost headers, and it takes a long time. There are thousands of boost headers. Just so I can get the one header in that package. That's how you redirect the output from a terminal command to a text file. Is use the arrow like that. Once done thinking, I'll look and see what my package count is. I think it's probably somewhere. It could be close to 2,000 now. It could be about half done what I've done before. There's a number of categories I haven't even tried to go into yet. Right now I'm focusing on the things that are trying to rebuild things that Diger's built, redo things that I've done, make sure, or create patches for things that I've done, try to look into things I haven't solved, see if I can solve them now. Let's see where we are. Wow, it's grown a bit here. 1,970, 30 away from 2,000. No, 1,969 packages. So, where last time I got over, was it over 4,000 or 48? Just over 4,800. I don't know. It's going to be close. I mean, I'm not getting all that much more. But I'm getting breakthroughs is what's happening, I guess. I'll probably get up to 5,000. Which is what I said last time. Alright, done for now. But anyway, the important thing is that if you build the boost headers and you use Pkgsrc, and then you go to build something that's dependent on it, and config tells you that it can't find the header it's looking for, it's because, well, you didn't put, as I didn't, the Haiku header in the package list. And you have to have it in there before you build, and you have to clear out, do a make clean, or just completely delete the directory that has the source code in it already. Otherwise, it reads the make file in the package list at the very beginning, and so unless you start over again, it's still going to have, that missing from the package. So whereas last night where I had the converters going, right now I'm in pretty good shape. I'm still going to be working on it. Tomorrow, I think the next category I'm going to go through, just let it run overnight, will be probably if I can turn the page. Emulators. Now, emulators is interesting because before, it's going to be interesting because I think I'm going to have much larger number of build opportunities. The only thing I don't have is the Qt4X11s, but before, when I did this, I had just figured out how to get SDL to build and how to avoid having to use eSound. And I know I didn't have Cairo built. I know I didn't have Glut built. So we'll see how it goes. I may get a lot more than I did before. I only had 19 out of 102, which was pretty pathetic. But I'm not going to hold my breath until such time. But anyway, back to converters, just another thing to mention is I have how many new ones, just like the other ones. Like each category is giving me at least, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new ones. And I don't think I'm going to have, I'm only going to have one that's lost. That's RUD1489. I don't know why that thing is not building. I also learned something interesting. One other thing. Why not? I was wondering why the hell is this thing just sitting here in toolchain wrappers? And I went in. What's happening is when it's in toolchain wrappers, if you go into the build directory, let's go to the work directory. This is for converters lib lib EBW, right? Let's just go in here. Yeah, it looks like, nothing's going on. Now something's going on in the build link here. There we go. So what it's doing is copying all the boost headers, or making symbolic links from all the boost headers, all 11,000 of them, and putting them in here. Once that's done, and it's done making all those symbolic links, that's when it'll stop saying it's creating toolchain wrappers. So sometimes, if you have a package that is a dependency of something huge like the boost headers here, which it's just going, probably the entire time I've been talking, it's been making headers here. That's why it takes so long. It's not like the system's slowing down or memory's being robbed or anything like that. Well, except there's a 4 GB limit. I mean, but still, that seems to be going reasonably fast in creating. Those are actually symbolic links. I'm not sure why it's calling it copy. So, getting back to this, where I forgot. I'll start with the emulators. I'm kind of afraid to start it because I don't want to build a whole bunch of broke, or find out that I only built 21 instead of 19. Because of some other dependency that's going to be hell to work through. But I've got most of them worked out. The only thing I really don't have worked out is Pango. I haven't built Pango. And then then I'm going to start looking at the list of packages needed for Firefox, and I may be pretty damn close. I may even be able to build something like, if I get the Qt libraries working. And I did find out that even when I reverted to an earlier version, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that. I even reverted back to an earlier version of Qt and 4. I thought, well, maybe Diagram made the patches for this thing. Same error. Just some kind of undefined reference to something or other. And I could tell at this stage were the things that didn't just work that I had to work through. There were times when Diger would just do something and he didn't really catch it in the patch, because there's so much work to do. You can't catch everything. This guy worked hours on this, so sometimes it does help to have someone else come in and look at it and fill in the gaps, because so if you try out my stuff and you find gaps, let me know. I'll fill them, because I want to have. And oh yeah, which brings me to this. I actually took all of Diger's patches that are working and I put them in my solve folder. So when I actually get around to loading this stuff up, I probably should just get rid of these damned asterisks, because that's, they don't really behave also well. I gotta change some of those. I don't know. Probably tomorrow night I'll load this stuff up. Well, yeah, it's late. So yeah, tomorrow night I'll load this stuff up, and it's still copying the boost headers. Now this takes a while. It's going to check all 11,235. of the headers before it finally decides it's going to make a package. The good news is when it generated the post install file list, it didn't think that the Haiku header was missing. So hopefully I'm not going to come back and make another video about how, even though it's in the package list, it still isn't, and this is how you get it in there. So in fact, let me just look. It should be in the desk directory. It's under config platform. There should be a Haiku. Yeah, there it is. So there it is. It's there. So hopefully when the package is created, it'll be in the package. And that way, when the dependent programs look for the boost headers and copy all 11,000 of them and take forever during the toolchain wrapper stage, it won't fail when it tries to do the configure stage and say, hey, the required boost headers are not there. And I was going, what the hell? They're there. They're there. And I may or may not have to do something to path autoconf. I'll see how this libAB, if libABW fails, but I'm not going to stick around to find out because it's going to take a long time. We'll know tomorrow. Then I'll know that I'm going to have to pass, I'm going to start identifying the packages that I got to pass that other variable onto.